Sorry, just adjusting the camera a little bit. Try to get as much of the space in the frame as I can. Sorry, I should have done this before I started recording. My bad. Okay, so welcome back to Rachel's Atelier, and I'm still working on my little alien abduction. This is definitely still a sketch. I've made lots of little mistakes that I know, that I want to address in a different way. But I do just kind of want to experiment with some techniques that I've never tried before. That's kind of what this is all about. So this is all basically an ink wash. So far I used India ink. And I did that on purpose because I thought I might want to use watercolor. I wasn't completely sure. But you can use watercolor with India ink, or at least we'll find out if that's true. I've never done it before. It shouldn't smudge with the watercolor too bad. And I decided that I want to kind of incorporate in this beam just kind of like a prism rainbow effect, just to add some color. Initially, I thought maybe I would want to add a little bit of color to the horizon where, the sun is supposedly setting. There's just a little bit of light back there because I didn't want it just to be completely dark. But I decided that it might be cooler just to kind of create a very colorful beam that is abducting these unicorns, because we all know unicorns and rainbows kind of go hand in hand. Maybe the unicorns are getting abducted because they were attracted to the rainbow beam and they got curious and got too close, and now they're gone. So let this dry overnight. Didn't really probably need to dry that long, but I just kind of got tired last night. I'm really new to this recording myself thing. It's just kind of mentally draining. That sounds kind of lame, but it's true. I just am normally working in silence and alone. That's kind of my comfort zone. So I'm trying to go out of my comfort zone and see if this video thing catches on. Got my dogs in the background. Took them for a walk, but they're probably going to be super naughty. And I'm doing this rainbow effect in a way where I want the yellow to end up kind of in the middle. And the hues that translate darker are going to be more on this edge. And so far, I haven't had to really even touch the ink parts, but kind of on the edges I have, and you can see that it's not smudging into the watercolor at all. There is some ink that kind of got splashed into the beam area just when I spritzed the ink yesterday, and that's actually the part that I want to address in a different way when I kind of do the final version of this, because I didn't mean for that to happen. It kind of dirtied up the beam. Just really wanted it to stay white so that this rainbow effect would be a little bit more pure, but that's okay. I know you can't see my watercolor palette, but I'm kind of just working from blue to violet to red, and we'll end up eventually with yellow, which kind of translates as the lightest hue in the middle. This will probably be a pretty short video because I'll let this dry before I move on to line work, which will be the next step. So this is kind of a wash, except I didn't get the surface wet at all before I started, because I don't want the colors to run together too much. I want to kind of keep them controlled somewhat, because I only want them to blend in with the next adjacent color. Okay. And I'm not really using green in here because it would come after yellow, and I just want yellow to be the center. And since the unicorns are white and they're kind of being basked in this beam light, I'm just painting them right along with the beam. And they'll basically, I think they'll probably just be kind of outlined a little bit, maybe just like some very minimal shading. And actually, maybe I should have put purple on the outside, because it actually translates as a darker value than blue. So maybe that's another thing that I will change when I go to the final version of this. And I may not, I don't know if I'll even record when I try to do the version, just because I'm still, it's just kind of a psychological thing, I guess, where I'm just not used to being recorded. And even though I know no one's actually watching this, someday someone might. I think it's just the prospect of being watched. Just the possibility of it. It's nerve-wracking. All right, now I might regret this, but I think I'm gonna spritz it just to kind of cause a little bit more chaos. So spray bottle's out of the screen because I don't want it to be too close, but just gonna spritz that. I think that the thing with the India ink is that even if I added more water to all of the ink areas, I don't think it would be reactivated. So that's kind of cool. It does, like right there and there, it looks just a little bit dirty because I splashed some of that ink into the beam. So it's not that it's bleeding in right now. That the damage was already done. I know it's kind of bleeding all over the place, but I'm just gonna let it go and just see what happens. And we'll see what it looks like when it's dry. So short video, but that's all I'm doing for now. Thanks.